Hello, this is Miss Hamilton, and I'm here with another art lesson today. And today we are going to be making peacock portraits. Some of the materials you're going to need today, you're going to need a thick white piece of paper because we plan to do a little bit of painting. So a nice thick paper works really well with that. You're going to need pencil just for a little bit of drawing to start. And then you're going to need black crayon where we're going to be tracing and continuing our drawing. For color, I'm going to be using watercolors. However, you could use some other color material. You could use markers or crayons or colored pencils. That works fine, but I'm going to be using the watercolors today. Because we're using watercolors, you're also going to need a paintbrush and a little cup of water. All right, I'm super excited. We're going to really have fun, and we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to draw is the head of the peacock, and then we're going to draw the body. All right, we're going to start with a pencil, and you're going to find the center of your paper, and with your finger you're going to point where the center of your paper is and go up just a little higher than halfway. This is where we're going to make our circle. I would like you to make just a small mark just to show where the center of that circle is going to sit, and then lightly draw a circle around the mark. All right, there is our peacock head. And then you're going to start at the bottom of the circle, come down a little bit, make a little mark. This is going to be the body of our peacock. And then we're going to go up and around, making a semicircle. You'll want to put two little marks at the bottom just so you know how wide your body is going to be. And then you're going to draw up from one mark over and down to the next mark to create that tall semicircle. All right, we are all done with our pencil, so we're going to put that to the side, and you're going to go ahead and grab your black crayon. We're going to do the rest of our drawing in black crayon. With the black crayon, we're going to trace around the head and the body shape, but also creating a neck. So we are going to continue the drawing of the head. So I'm tracing around the circle and inward for the neck, and then continuing to the body and out and down. So I'm actually making two shapes into one shape. Okay, tracing, going inward for the neck and outward, tracing over the body. So it kind of makes this sort of bowling pin type shape. I'm going to take my eraser and erase all my lines. Alright, I'm going to continue using my black crayon for the rest of my drawing. The next part I'm going to draw is the beak. With the black crayon, we're going to start at the top of the beak, and you're going to dip inward, starting at the head. And sometimes I like to make a little mark as to where I'm going to stop. At the head, I'm going to dip in, and then out, and then down. And then I'm going to do the bottom, going in and out and to the point, and then the crease for the mouth, and a oval for the nostril. The next step is we're going to draw an eye. Now we're only going to see one eye because the face of the peacock is turned to a profile viewpoint, so we only see one side of the face. All right, for our eye, we're going to start with a circle, a small circle right in the middle of the head, and then we're going to add a little tiny circle for a highlight. Adding a highlight will give our peacock a little bit more of a cute face. Then we're going to color in the larger of the circle, leaving the highlight white. Then we're going to make another sort of oval shape for the section of eye where there is a pattern. So I'm going to start at the beak, go around, and stop back at the beak. Inside the oval, there is an additional line, a black stripe. So we're going to add one on one side of the eye and two lines on the other side of the eye. And then we're going to fill in the two shapes with our black crayon. on the top of the head of our peacock, there is also a little bit of feathers that stick up. And so we're going to draw 3 lines on top of the head. And then we're going to use a bump line going around an oval to create the bundle of feathers that come up from the top of the head. Now it is time to draw all the feathers that go around the peacock. So we're going to start with some diagonal lines going from the body of the peacock out to the edge of the paper. And we're going to go all around the peacock with these lines. So again, starting at the peacock and going out towards the edge of the paper, leaving lots of space because we're going to add more feathers closer to the body. And we're going to do that by adding some circles in between. So we're going to put circles in between each set of lines. So some feathers are shorter and other feathers are longer, and they go outside of the picture frame, and then these will be inside the picture frame. And go all the way around with your circles. Then you're going to add lines going from the circle to the body of the peacock. Again, these are the feathers, and these are the stems of the feathers coming from our bird, our peacock, the body out towards the ends of our feathers. All right, we are all done with drawing. So the next step is we're going to pull out our watercolor paints. So after you pull out your paints and your water and your paintbrush, the first thing we're going to paint the body of our peacock. So I'm going to take a little bit of water and add it to my blue, and I'm going to make sure it's nice and wet, and I'm going to wake up my paint. I'm going to say, wake up blue paint. And once it is watery, it's going to spread very easily. Now remember, if your paints are thick and sticky, they are thirsty. And that means we need to add some more water to our watercolors. We want our watercolor paint to move very easily around our paper. So make sure you add enough water. Now, once your paint gets a little bit dry, because sometimes we use up that paint while it's wet, it starts to dry up. That means it's thirsty. We want to continue to add more water to the paint while we paint our picture. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint just the body. I'm only going to paint the blue areas of the body. I am leaving this section of the eye and the beak for later because I want to give the body a little bit of time to dry before I move on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up for just a moment. When I'm done with the body, I'm also going to do the little tuft of bundle of feathers at the top of the head as well. I'm going to use the same color of blue to fill that in. And then the next thing I'm going to do after I do that, just to let everything dry, I'm going to take a purple, my deep purple color. So remember, take a little water, clean off that brush first, take a little bit of water, add it to the purple, and wake up the purple. Once you have a little purple, we're going to fill each one of those circles for our feathers with the purple color. Now, sometimes with peacock feathers, the center of those feathers might be a blue or green, but I'm going to also use a little bit of this purple because it just makes it nice and it breaks up the color. And so when I add the feathers around it, it won't blend in too much. And also you tend to see this like deep purple blue color in peacocks. All right, I'm going to take a moment to work on that and I'll be back and I'll be moving on to the next step. All right, we're going to continue to add feathers to our lines. So I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to wake up my green. That green, and actually you can wake up your blue because we can use a little more of that blue. And we're going to start a feather from the center line and then coming out. And we're starting, so basically we're going from the line outward and upward, as you can see in my picture. And also it's going to sort of wrap around, going from the line out and around our circles. I like to use the blue for the color around the purple circles, and then the rest of the feathers green. So I'm going to be taking a blue and going from the line out and around, and then continuing to add the green. So there's my blue. So blue around the purple circles and green for the rest of the feathers. And if you notice, I really like to do the feathers going around the circle first, just to get those done and set up so I know exactly where they're going to be. And sometimes it helps when you continue to go down the lines with more feathers. Kind of creates a guide when you do the top feather first. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue to work on this and build up those feathers. There needs to be feathers on every single line, on both the left and right side of each line. So I'll let you watch this as I work, and you can pause the video if you need a little extra time to work on your own feathers. All right. All right, you can really see that I have really built up all those feathers and really added a lot. I'm just sort of touching up here and there, making sure there are not too many gaps, and I'm adding feathers wherever there's any empty space. And the last thing I have to do, I'm missing color in the beak and in the eye pattern. So I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, and remember, you're going to take a little water and wake up that yellow. And then you're going to paint in the inside of the eye area. Remember to leave your highlight white. And then the beak. And once you have done that, we are all done. I think it looks great. Yeah, just doing a little more touch up. All right, I really love how this turned out. I hope yours turned out well too. Again, remember, I would love to see any artwork that you create. If you want to share your art for my students, you can email me at my school email address. And then for those who are not maybe my students, you are more than welcome to maybe add a picture on the Facebook account. I would love to see what you do. All right, guys, I hope you have a good one. And I just loved creating art with you. Keep creating. I'll see you next time. Bye.